Hello and welcome back to the Red and White podcast. Nice to say those words today without instantly following it up with a disappointing tone and disappointing words about a 1-1 draw or a 1-0 loss. Azza, thanks a lot for coming on again. Happy?
My pleasure. Delighted.
Yeah.
It was really nice to see. It was just so. I kind of want to just kind of massage just my whole body.
You're going to say something else there?
No. Some of that attacking play did that other stuff, but it was just so nice. Do you know? I'm smiling from it. It was just everything about it was just so nice and just so calm. I just didn't feel any panic, any nothing. It was just so good and looked like everyone was enjoying it. Not just obviously, I want to say the players, but even like Lee Johnson looked over the moon. And I think we're saying 89th minute at one point he was there, just still trying to get everyone forward, which is what Sunderland fans have been dying for. So yeah, you cannot tell me any Sunderland fan will be disappointed with that today.
I mean, I would highly doubt it considering we won 4-0 against a team, one of the best teams in the league this season. As daft as that feels to say, like Lincoln, we weren't expecting them to be up there. I mean, as you say, just happiness just sums it up. Like I don't think I've ever enjoyed watching Sunderland as much as I have today, probably since roughly about the time we played Lincoln last time. You probably have to go back about as far as Wycombe Wanderers at home to get a result when I just felt so happy watching us. You know, I do hate to be a bit of a dominator. And I am going to in some way cast a tiny bit of negativity on it, but I mean, not that I would not that I'm someone that critique referees, of course, as you all know, but the penalty that got given to me when I watched it, I thought it probably wasn't really a penalty, or it was at the very least a bit soft. When you consider that Lincoln had two great chances just before that. Do you in any way think that if we hadn't got given the penalty, things wouldn't have worked out the way they did?
It's all ifs and buts. In my, you're going to get the look. You're going to get the look here and there, and sometimes you're not. How many times have we been denied blatant penalties this season? I can think of 3 so far. I think that we've missed blatant ones. But that's the difference between having pacey players in your side. The game is that quick that referees are going to probably go with the attackers, the pacey players. Jack Diamond had him in his rinsed all game. Well, for the 46 minutes he was on, sorry, I can't say all game. But that's the difference about having someone with a bit of pace behind them and driving the people in the box. The referee's got to get from one end of the pitch to the other. And fair enough, yeah, the professionals, and they've got to be quick, but they've got to get up the other end, sorry. But when something's happening that quick, you can only see what your eyes can, and that's what you saw him give because it happened so quick. There was no stopping, there was no kind of delay in it. It was just get at someone, and there was that crowd of players where it's probably looked like Jack Diamond has been brought down. I haven't been able to see it properly back. I only had it on the Sunderland kind of website screen, so I mean, maybe you've seen it, but I was only watching it on my laptop a little bit. So I can't really say if it was or wasn't a penalty.
If it doesn't get given, where does the game go? Considering they had 2 very, very good chances with the lad who was on like the left of their front 3. I think he was a striker. They had 2 very good chances and they didn't take either of them. Like, where does the game go if that doesn't get given?
The way we played after that, it gave us a boost. We're never going to know. That's the thing.
Yeah,
we were playing some nice stuff, so I wouldn't think it would have affected us too bad. But their finishing today wasn't up to scratch, in my opinion. Burge did make a couple of good saves, but that's what's going to happen with a team that's up there. If they're not used to being put behind, then you've got to pile on. They've conceded 10 goals before playing us today, and we put 4 past them. Yeah. So yeah, well, we can say the penalties changed the game, but that's the beauty of the game at the end of the day. You know, what happens if he scores that goal? What happens if he scores both them goals and then we get a penalty? Yeah, we probably would have lost. But that's it. Ifs and buts at the end of the day. He puts them away. It's a different game. We we've took our chances. Something I don't think we've said in a long time.
No,
We've made
probably been a problem this season more than any other. I think probably
Yeah,
we've struggled
and
with putting in the back net.
it's nice to not to be us for once. So no, sorry Lincoln, but yeah, rather you than me. I'd rather be any other team than us. Yep. Again, you've had fantastic form. You're second in the league, right? Move aside. Our turn now.
Yeah. No, I just like to ponder these things, and think, well, I mean, I know myself, when something happens so quickly, it is very difficult, and I would never blame a referee. Of course, I would never do it in a million years. But like, all I was saying was I mean, maybe that I saw the wrong angle, but to me, when he went down, my first instinct wasn't penalty. I think with the penalty, it's different to any other goal in general, though, because you haven't really actually had to work for it as much. 9 times out of 10, often it's the opposition have just done something stupid, and you wouldn't have been able to get a goal had you not been given the penalty. I just like to sit and ponder, well, what would have happened if we hadn't been given that penalty, regardless of whether it was or it wasn't. What happens then? Because as I say, Lincoln, I don't want to say they were the better team in the first kind of 10-ish minutes.
They had the better chances.
I don't think they were, but they had
clear-cut chances.
Two clear-cut chances. And I would have, if I was a betting man, I would have put money on both of them going in, and I found it unbelievable how they didn't. But so far this season, we haven't had a great deal of luck. And we've struggled to take our chances. Charlton away stands out as a game for me where we had so many chances. I'm sure there'll be other ones as well in there this season where we haven't taken our chances. Maybe we've been a bit unlucky. So it was nice to actually have it the other way round for once. You touched on a player there, Jack Diamond, a player who was fantastic today. Apparently had a great game on Tuesday. Unfortunately, I didn't get to watch on Tuesday. I mean, what can he bring that we haven't had this season, and why is he being kept out? Like that's what I'm wondering. He's had 2 great games. Clearly, Lee Johnson sees something in him. Today he got the goal, and he had a great game today and ran them ragged. Won the penalty, drew a foul that led to a goal, and then scored the 3rd goal. Like, what more can you really ask from someone? Like, why is he being kept out?
Well, he brings raw pace straight away, and I think on the commentary that I heard on, they were saying, "Oh, he's not a left footer." I'm positive he might be a left footer. I mean,
I think he's a right footer.
Well, he must be just as good with his left foot then, because I shouldn't bother him because he was going on both today. But that's something he brings as well. A bit like McGeady, brilliant with both feet, can go either direction. He has raw pace, and at times, I think he lost the ball for one of them clear-cut chances. But with someone like Conor McLaughlin behind him, who isn't really going to get forward too much, like Denver Hume probably will. He's like the opposite. That's probably what you need, just someone to sit back a little bit and maybe just cover him up. Let Grant Ledbetter do that. So let him have a bit of license to do a bit of freedom. At times he is probably going to frustrate some people, but he's young, and I'd rather him try things than get people get on his back and kind of get him into playing safe. But I think that's what some fans want from him and certain players. Just try, do something. That raw pace is going to cause problems, and it's something that we've not had from the very start of being in League One. In fact, I can't even think the last time we had just pure raw pace.
I'm trying to think of a player.
Yedlin is the only one I can think of, but it was a different scenario.
Yeah, because he was a fullback. Yeah, I think you.
Van Aanholt, but he again was a fullback. I kind of think of a winger we've had who's been like absolutely raw pace.
Honestly, I'm going as far back to the Steve Bruce days, and I can think of Steve Malbron, but he wasn't very quick. He just was technically brilliant. Yeah, I think pace is definitely something with that as well. With Diamond, like, he is going to make mistakes, but that's the type of player he is, where he's not someone who you want to be a conservative, play it safe. His role in the team as a winger is to take chances and commit a man, go forward, make that running behind, try to beat someone and put a cross in, take a shot from distance. Like, if you're trying to get him to play conservative, you're never going to get the best out of him. So it's important to remember that if he does make the odd chance, especially with him being a young player, actually he's just doing his job. it's different if you're a defender, but then you're all of a sudden you're at risk if you're taking chances. But when you're a player like Jack Diamond, when you have got raw pace, great technical ability from what we can see, a bit unpredictability, that's how you're going to hurt teams. And if going forward, if you're predictable, you can't expect to score any goals.
Yeah, he's got to do it in the right areas, like anywhere past that halfway line for me. As long as they're not pressed high, counter attacks. That's fair enough. Getting that half and do what you want for me. I always say that to whoever our coach or just in general, once you get past that halfway line, that's up to you. You make a decision what you do then. You're doing things in your own.
Is that because you've never been over the halfway line as a player, so you don't know what to say to them?
I don't go over the halfway line, no. Stay back. Once you're over the halfway line, just do what you want, because I don't know if it's right or wrong. But in terms of Parkinson, he must be sitting there now, think like he's got to be kicking himself. Why have you not played this young lad? Like, I don't know why. You kind of tell me that he was protecting him. What is the protect? No, you can't protect someone that isn't getting put into any danger. The fans have wanted him, and Lee Johnson must have heard this and come in and thought, right, I'm getting off the right start. I'll bring back McGeady. I'll go to 4 at the back, and I'll play Jack Diamond. If any of them don't work...
So simple.
If any of them don't work, Lee Johnson can then go, I did it. It didn't work. Yeah. Now it's my way. Has the 4-3-3 work? You can't... Yes, it's got to say yes for now. Is it going to work all the time? No, that's where Lee Johnson will have to come in and use his own...
That's when you've got to use your initiative and adapt. Yeah. And that's where Parkinson, where the 3 at the back did work. It worked for quite a long time, and it worked brilliantly when it came off. But when it stopped working, we had no idea. We had no plan B. We had not even a plan B. Just something else. Just to give it a break. We never had any other system other than 3-4-3. And as you say, Lee Johnson. I mean, if we're playing 4-3-3, the chances are eventually it'll run out of momentum. Teams might figure us out, whatever might happen. And then that's his responsibility to think of something different, 4-4-2, go back to the 3 at the back. As you say, that then comes down to Lee Johnson to do something then.
Well, look at Wolves. They've just changed their formation the first time in about 4 years. I mean, they've gone 4 at the back, and they're going to be, maybe it was due to injuries, but at least he's took it upon himself. Right? Something isn't working, and they've tried it. Nuno has. But yeah, I don't know why Parkinson wasn't giving him a chance. I never get this, and I never understand these managers that like protect these young players. How are you protecting them by not playing them?
Is that what he said, Parkinson, or?
Well, I'm not sure, but I'm sure that is probably the reason he would have given. Like, why else wouldn't you have played him?
I think as well when he was
brilliant, but he wasn't giving him a game. There's no fans there to get on his back. So if any time was a good time to play a youngster, it would be now. There's no crowds to get on the back. So that's going to keep them safe. Fair enough, you can also argue that there's going to be no there to give him a cheer. But, to put the red and white top on and play for the club should be enough motivation in itself.
Yeah, especially as a young player when you've never played before,
Yeah, exactly. And, he's been to Harrogate. He's been to playoff final to get in the League Two. That may not... That is still pressure for any footballer. I don't care what standard you are. A final is still pressure. So he's shown he can handle that pressure. Did he score, get an assist in that final?
He scored. He definitely scored. I don't know if he got an assist.
I'm sure he scored. It was either one of the other got a goal.
He definitely scored. It was he had the ball out on the right flank, and he made a run from the halfway line, curved his run right into the penalty spot, and the ball was timed perfectly, and he put it in.
There you go. Like, he can handle the pressure, and he was enjoying himself today. And you might say some people are saying, "Oh, well, he came off after 46." Well, you've got to think he played. Did he play? I think he played the full 90.
And a yellow card as well.
And a yellow card as well. I think at that point we were still in control. We were firmly in control of the game. So get him off. You don't want to overexpose the lad. Don't want to get him injured. Yeah, still take him off because he will have been tired. And I think on the commentary they were saying that some of his crossing was just a bit tiring. Looked a bit tiring. I was like, no, I don't think it's a bit tiring. I think he's just trying different crosses. So yeah, the positives have got to be from there today. And very very happy for him to get a goal. And an assist, kind of an assist as well. He was everywhere today, and he linked up well. And to throw out someone who we talked about the last podcast, Max Power as well was fantastic today.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. He's, I mean, you when you were saying we brought him off after 46 minutes or whatever it was, how nice was it to bring him off And when you're 3-0 up at half time to bring Chris Maguire on, like, you're in a pretty lucrative position when that's happening. You're 3-0 up at half time and you're like, oh, let's just chuck one of our best attacking outlets on. I think
Poor left back.
You what? Sorry.
Poor left back. He must have been thinking. He must have had a torrid day.
I think as well with Diamond, like under the system he was playing in Parkinson when he did get minutes, he was playing predominantly as a right wing back. You're never going to get the best out of him. He's a young, attacking, exciting, attacking outlet who will offer you something when you're going forward. He's not someone who can restrain himself to the touchline, who can defend and go forward, who can have that connection to both the centre-back just behind him and the winger or the striker just ahead of him, the centre midfielder inside of him. He's going to work best like Max Power when he's not restrained and he can do his thing. And when you play someone right wing back who's naturally a forward or naturally a wide midfielder, you're never going to get the best out of him, especially with him being a young player anyway. He's got so much excitement going forward. And why restrain him and put him in a position? If you're going to give him minutes, at least give him in the right position. Obviously, you mentioned Max Power again there. I make my words because today I thought, again, he was one of our better, shall we say, like ball distributors going forward. Ball distributing the ball well. Actually looked as if he had a bit of energy to me under Parkinson. I think the problem was that his role didn't suit him, where Max Power has got a lot to offer, and he's got a lot to offer going forward, whereas under Parkinson, his entire role was to just sit back, hold off the attack as a security, while the wing backs bomb forward or wide and recycle possession. When the ball comes out, it's your job to essentially get it back and give it to someone else, but you don't have the right to go forward, get in and around the 18-yard box, have a shot, have a cross, play someone through. Whereas I think if he's got someone that led bit behind him who's going to sit back and scour to be the legs, as much as obviously I'm not the biggest fan of scouring, if you aren't going to restrain him, that's when you're going to get the best out of him, in my opinion.
I think you're starting to see this. You're seeing some preferred roles of some players. I think at the time, 5-3-2 or whatever 3-5-2, whatever you want to call it. Whichever one you want to call it. Under him, it was more of a 5 because I don't think any of them went forward. I think you're starting to see at the time it was probably a bit better to stop the goals. I think they understood the rule, but as time's gone on, it's not going to suit you. You kind of just you can't put paper over cracks, and that's what I think was happening at the time. Fair enough, it worked for a while, but when it wasn't working, you've got to look and say why wasn't it working, And just like playing Diamond there and giving him 7 minutes, you're not going to have an impact in 7 minutes. That was his way of making me going, well, I'm doing it, I'm giving him time, but then you're setting him up to fail by playing him right wing back. No, it's not
his position.
No, it's not your position. No, fair enough. Like if you really were short on options and you can understand stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Curtis Jones has come to a Liverpool squad. You don't say Jurgen Klopp going, I'll tell you what, you go and play CDM and just sit in front of that back for us. Well, I'm playing my young players. No, like Alex Ferguson wouldn't have brought anyone through the squad and then just sent them to play somewhere else. Well, actually, played John O'Shea in about 5 different positions, but
he's a versatile defender though. So
yeah, but it's League One. It's Sunderland. Let him have a chance. He's for now. Now your academy players in this league either sink or they become a first team player.
If they aren't going to make it in League One, where are they going to make it? They're never going to be a Sunderland player if they can't be a Sunderland player in this division. I think it'd be quite interesting to see what he does with Luke O'Nien when he comes back, because obviously Luke O'Nien's, I think he fit quite well. Really well as the right wing back. He
would be an update from Scowen, I think. Definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
I think he would do that. He would do that. He would add something. No disrespect for Scowen. He would add something different. I don't know if it's that. I don't know. I can't put it on. Maybe it's just a bit more of a tackling, a bit more of a presence by Luke O'Nien. He loves to get forward, and I think them 3 centre mids would be of Power.
Bitter and O'Nien. It's the perfect mix, I think, where you've got your controlled kind of dictator sat back. You've then got your energy, your legs on 09, the bit unpredictability, someone to really cover the distance and get forward. And you've then got Max Power, who I do think if you utilise him in the best way and you give him the tools to do what he can and the right players to work around, can be a real attacking threat. As I was just about to say that with 09, I think he fit the bill really well as a right wing back because he had the energy to get up and down. He can defend and he can go forward. And I think he does well with link-up playing as well. And that was crucial to his game when you would have the centre-back, the wing-back, the centre-mid, and often a winger or a striker coming out wide. And 09 did really well with that link-up play. But I will be interested to see how he fits in the midfield. Or even if you were to put him as the front of the midfield three. Because I think that's when we've seen the best out of Luke 09 is when he's been just off the striker or just ahead of the midfield two. I don't know about yourself, but I think as much as I've rated him in basically every position he's played, other than maybe left centre-back in a back three, I think we've seen the best out of him when he's playing just off the striker or as an advanced midfielder.
I think I've always said, maybe a few of my mates have always said he must always run over the manager's dog or something because no matter who comes in, they never play him in the right position. Fair enough, when I don't even know why he played right back in the first place. I don't know if it was injuries.
Well, at the time,
he bought him at the time it was
because Adam Matthews got injured, but then Adam Matthews came back, and Adam Matthews is a quality right back, but he just stuck with 09. I did find it stupid myself.
It's just he hired him in at the debut. I'm sure he signed like 48 hours, not even that beforehand, and then threw him into the starting lineup. And then at the end, he said, "Yeah, it was my fault," but then never give him another chance in centre mid. I think he's played there twice, as I can recall. And you know, he's just such a nice guy. He'd play in goal if you asked him to.
I think that could be his downfall, where he's an agreeable person, maybe.
Everyone knows he can play there, but look at James Milner towards the end of his career, well, not the end of his career because he's still going. But when he moved to Liverpool, he could have stayed at Man City and he knew where he was going to play. He went to Liverpool and said, look, I want to be a centre mid. Yeah, he hasn't always played there, but that's the type where James Milner is a professional and just does, right, I'll play there, but he always ends up back in centre mid. And I think that's what Luke 09 needs to do. And that's what I think, because I think if we don't get promoted, or even if we do get promoted, Luke 09's contract's running out. And I think we've got to add something in there to maybe sweeten the deal. And I think if we start playing him centre mid, that is going to keep him at the club. Because I think he'll want to go and play in centre mid again. And I think but if we didn't, I can say two scenarios. If we don't get promoted, he'd play right back for a championship team. If we got promoted, you know, I think he would still play right back for us. But even if we did get promoted and, you know, we offered him centre mid, or even if we offered him centre mid in League One, I think he'd prefer that because it's a big club and it's his preferred position. And, you know, he might start getting some goals. You know, obviously I want us to get promoted and I still think we will. But I just don't think he sees his future as a right back. And I don't. Sunderland fans don't.
I think, to be honest with you, I think he's an agreeable personality. And managers know if you're short of a right back, which we have been, when under Jack Ross, under Parkinson, and now possibly under Lee Johnson, depending on what we want to look at it when he does come back, we are short of quality at right back. And if he's the best person for the job there, that they know that Luke 09 isn't going to kick off about playing there. If you try to play, I don't know, let's say a McGeady, I mean, he would never be a good right back, you know, and I'm never in a million years going to say that he's going to try and make it clear that he is, but because of the personality type he has, and maybe there's other people in the dressing room who've got the potential to play right back, but or the potential to play in alternative positions, you know, but because Luke 09 is such an agreeable personality, maybe, you know, the managers like how they can just rely on him to go there and not make a fuss about it, because I think he just wants to be in the team whenever in whatever way he can, and that's quite an admirable thing, but it's also going to just restrict him in terms of going forward in his career. You know, if he wants to play as a centre midfielder, he's probably going to have to go to a team that's going to give him that, if we don't.
Yeah, and, you know, unless it was a really high up championship side, I think he would go and play right back for them, because he obviously wants to progress his career, and, you know, a lot of people would snap right back people's hands off for a right back position for a championship club chasing promotion at the Prem. You know, anyone would probably play right back for a Premier League side, but for a big club like us, and he might want to stay, and, you know, he can make himself a hero status here by getting us promoted to the Championship.
Definitely. If he's
to
part
the
of the
Premier League.
squad, if he's part of the squad that gets us from here to the Premier League, he could be club legend status just from doing that, especially for our generation where we our time supporting someone that hasn't seen many successes. Like, we're going to look to this current squad, and if they're the ones, if the lads who've got the moment, if some of them are still around when we get back to the Premier League, we've got no option but to look at them as almost kind of like club legends, really. And it's a shame that we're saying that, because some of them been in the Premier League should be the minimum expectation, but I think that's just the way it's going to be. Yeah. Speaking of right backs, Deion Sanderson, I'm getting a little bit concerned. It is now the 12th of December. The transfer window will be back open. I don't know if they could recall him anyway, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was to get recalled to Wolves, because to me, since he's came in, he's looked really composed on the ball, decent defensively, plenty of pace, a bit something going forward. Under Lee Johnson as well as under Lee Parkinson, he's just not getting his chance. And as much as Conor McLaughlin might look like a decent option, to me, he offers us absolutely nothing going forward, and you can't say he's immaculate defensively. To me, I'm just getting a bit concerned that we're going to lose out on a real quality player.
Yeah, we have not seen much of him, and he's another young player, but again, obviously the mix-up on Tuesday night didn't help him. I think Lee Johnson will give him a chance.
Oh God, yeah.
And like someone at the club should have really realised that. I'm not blaming Lee Johnson at all, because he won't have went back and looked at the cup competitions of Sunderland and went, "Oh, who's played, who's not." The last thing Deion Sanders probably would have thought about was, "Oh, that cup tied." No, I wouldn't have thought that either. I would have been just looking forward to starting. Get myself a game, showing the manager what I can do. So, that's just kind of what we've come to expect from Sunderland these days, unfortunately. But I do hope he gets his chance, even as a right back, just to see how it's going. Just let the lad have a runabout, see what he can bring.
Oh, don't mention him.
No.
Oh, no, I know what you said, man.
I don't know if I know this. I think I was a bit worried when Wolves having some injury problems in defence, but I think
I can't see them recalling him to play in the first team, but I just think if he's not playing for the under-23s and he's not playing for the first team, he's not getting any match experience. He's going to be losing out on really key time to improve as a player, and they could just get worried and think, well, if all you're doing is training there, well, you can do that, do that here, but play for our under-23s as well.
There's still plenty of games to go from now till January, and I'm sure with the change of manager, there'll maybe been a phone call there from the sporting director of Wolves, or from our end, or manager. Someone surely will have had a conversation. What's your plans with him? Because once there's a change, whoever's in charge of Deion Sanders' progression, shall we say, will probably have a key interest in the manager that's coming on. We'll probably look now and say, right, a back four, right? We've changed to a back four now, but he can also play in a back five. That's good to know. It'd be interesting to see where he can play. Maybe next season when he comes back, look to maybe play him as a right wing back or right back, or maybe he can play centre half for them for next season. I know he hasn't played much, but Jimmy Dunn went and played for Burnley. And, didn't do very. Obviously, the team weren't doing very well at the time, but he got himself a goal. And that's what happens from the loan deals that he's been on. So I'm hoping that Lee Johnson's maybe been on the phone to them and just said, "Look, these are my plans with him." He said he wants to give him a chance, so hopefully he gives him a chance. There's still a good few days, a couple of games before the window reopens. So let's just see what happens from there. But I can see why Peter would be worried.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get any game time soon, I'll be a bit worried. But because he is an under-21, I believe, and he won't count to the wage cap. So he's kind of important to have, because
we'll be losing out on a valuable asset there.
Yeah, massively.
Another talking point from it, obviously Charlie White got 2 goals. I don't think he got an assist, but he didn't, but he got 2 goals today. I made a point and said that actually he scored what is essentially 25% of Will Griggs' entire tally while he's been at the club. As Will Griggs only scored 8. The form this season he's been in is something I really wasn't expecting. I'd never thought in a million years Charlie White would score twice in a game for Sunderland. What's clicked for him this season? And more importantly, I think, do you at all think Will Grigg deserves another shot? Because when I was speaking to Tom White, and Tom White said, give him one more opportunity throughout December to stamp his name out, and give him the games in September, and then in December, sorry, and if it doesn't work, well, then you can look to move him on in January if you can. But for me, with White, and that was my thinking as well. I was almost agreeing with him, but then White came in today. He scored twice. We know that White offers us something other than just goals as well, with his hold-up play, his link-up play, and at least a bit aggression towards defenders. I mean, like, can you actually give Will Grigg a few games running the team when White's doing what he's doing?
In terms of answering about White this season, I maybe one of the big things is the no fans, and I hate to see it again, but there was a lot of fans who would get on his back, and maybe it just took a bit of pressure off him.
Yeah, he seems to have a bit low confidence. I think sometimes his posture just seems a bit off at times. He just seems to be a bit nervy.
I also think you look through the managers. I think under Jack Ross, he was, there was no creativity there. There was no. I mean, there was McGeady, but you can't just rely. Like we've said before, you can't rely on one person just to feed one person. And maybe the two up front helped under Parkinson. Maybe they're getting three in the box. But today, what I noticed was the amount of creativity we had. If you create that many chances with a bit of speed, it's going to open up stuff in the box. And I looked at one point, and Lee Johnson said about you should be at least having 5 players in the box with this formation. And all the goals, maybe apart from his second one, there was 5 people in the box, sometimes 6. McFadden was in there, White was in there, Power was in there. I think Jack Diamond was in there, McGeady was in there.
Shouldn't have parted sometimes we have 1 player in the box.
Just players going in the box, and it just causes a bit of a kerfuffle, I think, for defenders, especially with movement. And I think that's helped them today. But there's a lot of creativity today from likes of Diamond and McGeady, which is going to help any striker score goals. A bit of pace opens it up for anyone, which showed from his second one where there was players in the box where the ball wasn't the best cross in the world, but it was an effective cross. It got McFadden headed the back cross, and White just hit it in.
Was that his first?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, that in particular, I mean, we had about 4 players, 5 players in the box at that point.
5, I counted.
5.
I think one just came in a little bit late. Might have been McLaughlin, or Power, actually, sorry. But there was 5 players in the box, so we haven't just got one person aim for where, all right, that's gone short.
Yeah.
White's not, well, that's White's fault for not being a front post. So the next time White goes to front post and it goes back post, White should be back post. Then it goes in the middle, he should be in the middle. White can just hover around wherever he wants to hover, let the others pick up the space, and he can stand around the goal area, so when the ball does go anywhere near, he just needs to put it in the back of the net. The only time I said I didn't see many players in the box was the second goal where he made the run, but it was a quick counter. A brilliant pass from Flanagan. But as the ball hit the net, I think I've seen 2 players make late runs into the box. So they were still trying to get numbers in the box, but it's about game management at that point. You want the clean sheet. You don't have to commit 5, 6 players forward. So, yeah. But like I say, that one was a bit different. But when people are defending very deep or in numbers, get some more numbers in there, and that's probably helped him. And I'd like to see, I thought Grigg looked good on Tuesday. Diamonds.
Well, Lee Johnson actually said that after watching him for 2 games, he's confident that he can get him scoring goals again, which is why I was surprised to see him taken out. I was almost a little bit disappointed because I thought, well, hang on a minute, like you're saying that you're confident you can get him scoring goals again, but the only thing that's going to get him scoring goals is consistent games in and out.
Yeah, it's true. However, we
can't complain. White scored twice today.
White scored twice. But I think everyone just wants Will Grigg to do well. I mean, we want White to do well just for the fact of fee. And, I would have liked to say, I know he was on 2 goals, but I would like to see an introduction of Grigg a bit earlier. I think in them situations, you should be holding Grigg on a 3-0. Try and get a goal.
It's that type of game
try and get him a goal. Just
on
get him
a counter-attack.
Yeah, just get him a goal. And, I think if he's got people around him who can create him chances, with a bit of movement and, people behind him creating some things, that might get the best out of him. But if this doesn't get the best out of him, then, then yeah, nothing will ever get the best out of Will Grigg at Sunderland if he doesn't start performing under this kind of system and this manager who I think believes in him, because Parkinson didn't believe in him. I don't even think
Yeah,
Jack Ross.
clear as day.
I don't think Jack Ross wanted him. Jack Ross wanted him when he was
But
£1
he
million.
didn't. On the
Man.
Netflix documentary, he said don't pay. He did say he didn't pay 2 million for him. Never mind 4.
Yeah. Don't pay him, and he paid a 3 million/4 million, whichever one it is. And I just think when he stopped scoring, when he wasn't scoring, that just ruined Jack Ross as well, because he knew it was going to add more pressure to him. And put it this way: if you get told, he said it, he got woke up in his dramas to come up to Sunderland. I don't think. Did he want to? Was he ever flattered about coming here? Who knows? Because he came from Championship club. He loved being at Wigan. I really want it to work for him. I really hope it does work for him. However, he might have to wait. He might have to sit and wait his time again, because if Charlie White staying in form like he is, no one's getting past that. And then you've got to think what happens with Danny Graham, because that's just been another waste. I can't imagine his wages are any cheap either, and his will come massively towards the salary cap. Another one where we've brought in another striker, and he's just sat on the bench. Why? Why did we need Danny Graham? If you were going to play Chris Maguire,
I think maybe if White had got injured early on, you can then keep the exact same format though. If you bring Danny Graham, I just think that's why he's probably on the bench. But I think you're exactly right when you say we're just creating more chances now, because we're committing players into the box. The fullbacks getting in the box. The set midfielders are joining the attack. We've got multiple forwards getting forward. We've got options going forward where if if we put a cross in the box, it's not just a one player aim for. If it doesn't go for them, it's not going to work. If it doesn't go to them, it might fall to someone else, or the pressure of someone else's presence might end up taking a defender away and leaving a bit gap for someone to run onto it. Which is really exciting to see. Going into Wimbledon, obviously, I'll have the preview show to do. But how confident are you with them not being one of the best teams in the league? And is there anything you change going into that game?
No, unless there's any injuries or anything that comes, that kind of screams out from now till then. Maybe if Willis is fit again, I've heard he might be okay. Maybe give him a runabout. Maybe not from the start, but I mean, Flanagan I thought did excellent today. I thought Bailey Wright looked a bit more of himself today. I think early on he made a pot of lunge in for a tackle, but that was when it was either commit or don't. Either way, he was getting.
Was that when Flanagan went and flattened someone before their first clear-cut chance?
I thought it was Wright that flattened him.
I don't know. I thought it was Flanagan. He completely went through him though.
I thought it was Wright. I thought Flanagan went chasing after him. Yeah, no,
I thought it was McFadzean and Levitt that went chasing after him. So it could have been either, and I think it was Flanagan.
I thought it was right, but but anyway, besides that moment, I didn't look too bad defensively. And I've been, like I said, I'm not Flanagan's biggest fan, but that pass for Maguire was fantastic. So maybe it looked like the bought into the system. I've got to give credit to Lee Burge today as well, because he saved us in that one-on-one.
Definitely. I mean, his safe.
A lot safer with him in goal. It makes us feel a lot safer. Not Anthony Patterson or anything like that, but Murray Matthews is just.
I think Murray Matthews' pretty-much routine involves just getting these gloves and just dipping them into the McDonald's fryer and just getting all the grease on his gloves, and so when the ball comes, he just knows he's gonna drop it.
But say if that's Murray Matthews, he probably gives away a penalty there. Like Burgess committed. He's a good League One keeper, and that's what people need to remember. We're League One. We've always had good goalkeepers apart from that one season. But
yeah, it's funny that goalkeepers always tend to do well at
there. But he's a good League One goalkeeper. We kind of complain at that. We're a League One team. We need a good League One goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And what can I ask what your thoughts were on McGeady today?
McGeady. Little bit quiet, but I think that's to be expected because, a little bit quiet, but I'm not going to make a big deal out of it because we did get 4 goals. So it's more or less irrelevant. And I think as well, you got to give him a little bit of time. You can't expect too much of him probably until the new year, really, because he's going to need time to get up to match fitness. He's had a couple of injuries in his time over Sunderland that have already affected his fitness, and You know, he's been out he hasn't even played football. If you take the last 3 games out of the equation for ages, so he's going to need time to build his fitness up and just build his sharpness back up. So it was a bit quiet today, but you know, he's going to have those games, and I think it's more down to his match fitness than anything. I think with McGeady as well, you know that he can be having a rubbish game, but he's always got a goal in him or a chance to create in him. Obviously, he did come off with a bit time as well, didn't he? He came off for was it Embleton or no? I got that wrong.
Embleton.
Was it or Greg or anyway, he came off as well, so he didn't get a full.
Embleton, positive.
He didn't get a full 90 minutes. Just to wrap things up,
he did get an assist though. He did get an assist, and do you know what it is? I think that's a good thing. He's not standing out too much, so when it does, like, we're not just relying on him. I think that's a good thing, because when we do need to rely on him the most, it's kind of like an invisible weapon, where the focus isn't just truly on McGeady at the moment.
I think when we're relying on too much, the weapons to ourselves, we damage ourselves. But just to wrap things up, I'm really struggling to think of one, but man, the match today, there's too many in my opinion.
I would like to say Jack Diamond could be 46 minutes. Is that really worthy of man the match?
You got 46 minutes. We got 3 goals in the first half, though. That won us the game.
I would have to give it to Jack Diamond. You know, he just, everything we touched today was fantastic. So Jack Diamond's will get man of the match today for me.
I think I'd be tempted. If I could, I would give it to Lee Johnson, because I think his game management was brilliant as well. Like even when we got a goal, which you can say it's lucky or whatever, but we managed the game impeccably from that point onwards. So I'll be if I could, I would give it to Lee Johnson, but I'm going to agree with you on Jack Diamond. As you say, everything he touched just was brilliant, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him in the team again, and hopefully he can offer us an attacking outlet, a bit of a different option as well. With Gooch being out, and when Gooch comes back, it's something different that teams might not really know, and it's something different for them to think about. And they can't, with him being a youth player as well, they can't really scout him that brilliantly, as well as they can the likes of Gooch and Maguire anyway.
Totally agree, and you know, not that we should be thinking like this, but it's also, we don't have to go and buy anyone to bring any attacking players in. You know, we still probably need another attacking player who's a bit of pace in them. But there's one less player we need to bring in now, because we've got one in our own ranks, and hopefully he might go and look at, you know, someone who probably divides some of the fans, Kim Bianca, someone who is probably got a bit more pace than Diamond. You know, he's a bit taller.
I think he's a bit overrated. He hasn't really done anything for me. He's had his odd little chance here and there. I mean, people say he's never had a chance, but he has in, like, you know, in the checker trade in Lacing.com and those types of games. And to me, just, I don't know, he just seems to have no cohesion when he's running. He just seems to be all over the place.
It looks like he looks like a better athlete than kind of Diamond. He's just taller and, you know, that leg stride.
But, you know, I works against him. He's a bit lanky and
it's a clean slate for everyone. You know, maybe, you know, you can't hurt Lee Johnson. Have a look at him. You know, Lee Johnson, not even just him though, there could be somebody else now in that academy who must look at Jack Diamond and go, I'm going to try and get my chance now. And, you know, who knows, we might even need to go to the January transfer market to find another attacking player if Lee Johnson finds, you know, a gem from the academy. So hopefully this is something that Lee Johnson looks at and finds us another gem. Because I think there was a few, when we came down from League One, I think to League One, there was a few people who we could have given a chance to, and we didn't, you know. I mean, look where Bally Mwamba's gone now. He's got Norwich, and yes, he's playing fullback.
He's doing well.
Like, why was he starting the first game in the Jack Ross?
Why on earth could we have not given him a chance at right wing back in League One?
Hang on, what was Jack Ross's obsession? Would he turn centre mids into right backs? Like, if the 2 centre mids he started with on opening day of the season are now playing fullbacks.
We all have our little things we like doing. We all need a hobby, as a
yeah, a hobby, not like people's like livelihoods and that. Oh Jesus.
Anyway, yeah, I was just gonna wrap it up there. We've been going on for a little bit longer than expected, but not to worry. It's no problem. Never. Just, you know, a bit of a problem when you've got a waffler on. But thanks for coming on again. Been a good chat. Hopefully we can continue to keep getting things right and keep improving on the Lee Johnson. Thanks to everyone watching as well. Hopefully this will be up at some point on Saturday night. About to record the preview show as well. That should be up at some point on Sunday morning. Got a podcast with Gary Bennett going up in the coming days as well. There's a little clip on to that somewhere on the channel. It was a good one. It was a good one. I think it's got a little bit heated.
You're gonna put that one after the Lincoln game, just to prove your point.
Yeah, maybe I might just upload that same little 6-minute clip that I'd already put up again, as well as a couple of other clips as well from the other podcasts.
He's a good lad. He's a good lad, Gary.
Yeah, it was an interesting discussion to say the least. Thanks to everyone watching as well. Please remember to subscribe if you have enjoyed the video. Trying to hit 150 by the end of the year. Currently on 130. Should be able to do that if most people watching this video. If you want to subscribe, do subscribe. As I know you're obsessed with the idea that you caused the sudden influx of 35 people coming to my channel. Funny, it was roughly about the exact same time that the Roker Report put a tweet out about, which I can't thank them enough for.
What can I say? Me and the Roker Report go way back.
Do they really? Anyway, as I say, thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you in another one.